Presence without inclusion is just an exercise in futility. Mahalo, greetings, people. Welcome to another edition of the Utu Podcast. My name is Elvis Jabulani Mogeni, and I'll be your host for today. Um, Contrary to what many people don't know, actually, is that July is the International Disability Pride Month. And these are some of the days that are barely celebrated internationally, maybe, regionally, and locally. So I think it's imperative that we shed some of this particular awareness so that actually people know. And we had a guest visitors last week and told us uh, something very intriguing that presence without inclusion is just an exercise in futility. So that means if we're not actually including some of these particular days in our memories or remembrance, then for and then we're not making them actualizing them, then it's it's an exercise in futility. But then, with that said, today we have amazing people with me, uh, and then we're going to have a discussion about a number of array of issues, topics, and have fun times while at it. So I'll let them introduce themselves, of course, beginning with a glowing flower on my left.
Hello, my name is Perris Wangari, but I'm better known as Mama Arthur. I run an organization. It's called Arthur for Others Organization. It's a CBO based here in Nakuru County. Our main focus is in supporting and amplifying voices of children with developmental disabilities and their caregivers. Yeah.
Awesome. Aha, my good friend.
My name is Maina Karanja. I run an organization called Beyond Barriers Empowerment Network. It's a social enterprise focusing on disability mainstreaming and empowerment for the disability community. Yes, based in Nakuru, operating remotely anywhere, locally, regionally. Yeah.
Awesome, Maina.
Yeah, Miriti Smith. I also have an organization called Inclusive People Africa. It's in that organization that we have an upcoming project that's a podcast that will be majorly talking about disability issues and everything that concerns disability.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Smith, it's July.
Yeah.
Why is July so important? And then why do you think what one of our could probably celebrate the Disability Pride Month?
Yeah, so as you've just said, disability in July it's our Pride Month, and we are proud of who we are. We are proud of where we came from, and we are proud of everything and everything that's around us. And us being here and us recognizing this day, it shows that we appreciate inclusion in every area of or in every aspect of life, and we are and it being a Pride Month for disability, it would be very prudent if we come up with events or rather things that help in amplifying this day so that even the greater or larger society knows about it and appreciates it. And so me, when it comes to this day, I would really, really want people to really get involved in it, people to have a conversation or rather have conversations when it talks or when it matters things disability. Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. And Maina, there's something that I mentioned when we started that you can show up in events, forums, and other things. But then, as person living with disability, and then you're just there, but you do not participate. What does July mean to you, the Pride Month of disability? What does that mean to you?
I'll base the question in 3 ways.
Yeah.
Especially in the Kenyan context. How disability came to be and to be heard in Kenya. Ilikuwa time yenye, you remember when Kibaki was campaigning, he got an accident, he was
Yeah.
on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So every eye was on ensuring that he accesses every place, in State House, Harambee House, and every place.
Yeah.
So that was the start of the inclusivity, in disability inclusivity in Kenya. So at the time, there was created a Disability Act, 203 Act, which now we have a Disability Act 2025, sponsored by Crystal Lasige.
Yeah.
So my biggest pride as a person with disabilities this month and all the other months and every other time is the progress that we've come from when we got the blessing in disguise of our late president. Second, we got the Disability Act 203, and now we have a Disability Act 2025. So it's a climbing ladder. So looking at it, we are like 50% or less, but on a higher percentage inclusive. So being present and not participating, it comes from two perspectives, where we have organizations, we have people who hold events, and they want to hit targets of, I brought
tick boxes.
Yes, I got 30 people, 10 of them are people with disabilities, take photos and all that.
Yeah.
So another thing that causes people with disabilities to be there, not participate, is us, the people with disabilities ourselves. Because in my area, I will not allow myself just to be there. But that's me. There's another person with disabilities who may choose to be there and not to participate, maybe because of any benefit that he or she may be getting there. So it's a two-way thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now as a young person, Maina,
Yes.
umesema story ya Kibaki.
Yes.
Basically, because Kibaki alipata accident, and then that is when, lawmakers decided, you know what, we need to have this particular thing passed so that tukue na hiyo inclusivity. As a young person, unaona ni kama sasa ni hata sisi tukue one-legged to ndo tukue included so that we can feel included, because then something has to give so that we can feel like included per se. I mean, so what needs to be done?
At the moment, what needs to be done is the society already has the enlightenment, and any other person who is not disabled has some information to do with disabilities. So they have an idea of how to be inclusive, deliberate inclusion, not just bring someone for the name in the name of it. So for the society and everyone, it's just to practice the little inclusion knowledge that you have, just to put it in practice. And the other thing I always advise society, and the society here means those without disabilities and those with as well, is to consult people with disabilities whenever you're making a decision, you want to be inclusive and all that. Consulting is way better. You have a profession, there's something you do better. We have professions, there are things we do better, which is disability inclusion. So I believe if you want to be inclusive, the go-to people is the people who practice inclusivity or are consultants of disability inclusivity. So majorly, the best thing society should do is just to get information from other experts.
Perris, you're a caregiver.
Yeah.
And I mean, what does this particular month mean to you as a caregiver? And, being friends with Akina Smith and Akina Maina, what does that mean to you and other people as well?
For me, Disability Pride Month means seeing disability in all its glory. The glamorous part and the challenging parts. We bring them out no matter how they are. If it's the challenges caregivers face, and as much as for the people who they care for, those with disabilities, be it children, be it people who are grown, the challenges they undergo on a daily basis. Being left out from the systems. A lot of systems are not designed for people with disability. Just as Maina has said, I will echo what he said, because ukiangalia systems mingi hata from healthcare yenyewe peke yake, there are a lot of loopholes, and also there are a lot of successes from people with disability. Like sahi tuko hapa na Smith, tuko na Maina. These are people who are running organizations. They are doing major things. They are big people in the disability space, They are doing something to change the situation. So kuna a lot of successes, and pia kuna a lot of professionals wenye wako na disability. So it's not all like a downside, but we need to shed a light that even though uko na disability, there are some things you can do. You can achieve greatness no matter the condition that you have, Be it cerebral palsy, we have people with CP na wanafanya vitu amazing sana. For example, there is a lady in Nairobi anaitwa Josephine Mwende. She worked together with a certain MP and wakapitisha a certain policy ilikuwa ina affect women and children maternally, She faced stigma while she was pregnant because of her condition. Alikuwa naenda hospitali anaambiwa pana, we do not take care ama we do not offer services to people like you. Unaona, these people are doing amazing things. So tusikue hapo kwa kukunia ati disability tunaona challenges peke yake. There are a lot of great things here, and these people here are just but an example. And I love being around them because I get to learn a lot. And also pile nimepitia caregiving journey, I've learned my own share of things, si wewe tu kama caregiver, as much as you are taking care of someone who is not able to talk, hana hizo skills verbally, you need to learn their language. At least hapa Smith na Maina, they can advocate for themselves. But what about that person ama that child mwenye hawezi communicate? Wewe caregiver ndio uko hapo kumsupport. But that does not mean that your voice overshadows theirs ama their needs, You need to be observant as a caregiver, as a parent. You need to also be willing to learn them, jua language yao. What do you do and then they are happy? Ama what do they like, Ukimfanyia hivi ana react aje, unajua ni nini hapendi, ni nini anapenda, ni wapi ana feeling akiwa comfortable. That is communication. And you're actually learning, and you get to include them as opposed like we're oppressed. Unajua, we tend to make decisions for people with disability just because we are caring for them, and we do not like pause and think, Kenya tuna decide huyu mtu angetaka ama hivi ndio angetaka, You cannot ask them because hawawezi kucommunicate, but be observant and get to learn their language. So for me, I think it's just amplifying everything, be it challenges, be it achievements. Wacha tuzi amplify zitoke kuinje na society ilan. As juu tumelabel disability kama something bad, for a lack of a better word, Mtu akisikia disability anaona pity, anaona a lot of stuff like huyu mtu is completely dependent, hawezi jifanyia kitu. But manze, watu wako na disability, they have a lot of potential, wanafanya vitu amazing, and it's time society knows that and actually embraces that and supports them whenever they need help.
Funny that you mentioned that. I have two friends, one akona antembea na
clutches.
I think Kim anamjua, he's one of my friend, and then also I have a deaf friend, inaitwa impaired hearing. And then na wote wawili ni wase wa Kamnyweso. Kama mimi. And it's funny, they face some stigmas. Sometimes umeenda kwa bar and then unajua unaona mawaiter wanashindwa nauziaje huyu jamaa. Ama hata kama amekama hapo for once hata anataka tu kukunywa maji ama soda ama relax on a ball. You get? Ama labda anataka kukatia kadem. Kadem kanasema mimi sasa nitamuongelesha aje na sign language. You get? There's a lot of stigma going around, with those particular people. And now that what you've said, I just want to know, of course, putting aside the negatives, what are some of the positive experiences, like Smith, you've had, while interacting with people in different societal places and everything, joins, wherever? What are some of the positives probably you have, positive experiences?
Yeah, so positives ziko, and one of the few positives I interacting with the hearing impaired. I had to learn sign language. It was something really awesome. Unajua ukiwaona wakienda kwa barabara wakiongea na sign language afu wanacheka, it's thrilling.
Yeah.
It's thrilling, you know. Hadi wako ni zile za manze wale wako moshene yao tu wanajinais unaget, ina feel thrilling. That's one positive. The next positive is them doing their own work, you know. Una expect mse hawezi fanya media industry, cause I've realized the media industry, or rather the entertainment industry, not so many are accepted in the industry because of the demands of the industry. If it's DJing, if it's events planning, if it's all these works zenye zinakuanga pale kwa entertainment industry, me seeing Maina doing content, me seeing Perris doing content, that's a positive. Me seeing someone on TikTok or X or Instagram DJing, you know, ina feel positive because it brings a different vibe. It shows that kumbe pia wanaweza, you know. So that's another positive. From my own end, I've had to learn to love myself, because you get sometimes disability na come na story mob, and one of them is self-esteem, self-appreciation, unajua kujipenda. And so if you learn how to love yourself and you know how to love every other person, even the world will know how to love you back. So that's a positive. Usipojua kujipenda, pia hao wengine wako like sasa unaget. So these are some of the positives, and us talking about this month and its pride in all, you can get so many examples in society that bring positivity, and you just get to enjoy, and and life manze inakuwa tu poa.
True.
Yeah.
Maina, I mean, of course, alongside the disability community, what are some of the positive experiences, at least umeshare na wase, maybe, like you feel like, you know what, these people are not looking at me with sympathy, na ati macho ya huruma ati mi natumia wheelchair ama nini ama whatever. What are some of the positive experiences that you have experienced as a person?
Majorly may happen, like naeza peana 2 examples. One, we went to a certain fellowship, Emerging Leaders Foundation last year but one. So kukakuwa selected watu wenye wamekuwa most outstanding after the fellowship. So it happened that I was one of them. So I didn't nikaiona na perspective, they appreciated the work that I did, because nili put in so much effort to ensure that nime participate fully, na pia kulikuwa na activities like charity activities huko nje and all that. So nili put in so much effort. What they appreciated is not the fact that I was a fellow with disabilities. It was that he is a fellow, regardless of him having a disability, he has put in work. So my biggest positive and my biggest highlight at that time was they appreciated the work. Hawakuangalia ati jamaa anaweza kosa kuperform because maybe ako kwa wheelchair and something. Another thing, like in Africa, I mean our cultures, men wanakuanga defined as people with responsibilities and everything. So kitambo nikiwa mtoi sikuanga napewa responsibilities. Hata kungekuwa kuna chango pesa ya maybe something, siwezi pewa opportunity being a man, but in the name of I have a disability, sitaeko kwa hiyo. But sasa siku hizi imefika point yenye kuna mchango napigiwa, unaget. So I appreciate that. I'm taking responsibility as a man, and people also give me the opportunity to take responsibility as a man. So that's my biggest pride and my biggest positive all the way.
Hata mimi nasemanga ati yo tumeenda na wewe Maina mali tumeshika kamzinga ati wewe ati Maina hizi changa ati nini kanyama hakuna lazima uchangie. You get that's why also I have an issue with some of these social places. Of course, forget about the high end hotels na nini zenye ziko na marams and everything. Unaona hata hapa si tumejaribu, so it's high end. Hata local places mali wakinala unaendanga kunywa keg. Unapanda huko juu. We need to have some of those places pia ziko. Unajua kuna places unapanda stairs ziko huko juu. Maina anataka kwenda kumeza kitu yake. Haisi panda, so inabidi nateremshiwa down.
Bottom line ya story yote hata inakuanga open minded. Open minded because the world is too judgmental. Ukiona wheelchair huwezi ona ati wheelchair na tei.
Exactly.
So ni wheelchair na Bible ama wheelchair na church. So ukiona msee kwa wheelchair tu ati anaingia joint or anything. You're too judgmental to
huyu jamaa tuende church aombewe nini ashikwe kichwa.
But the solution for all that ni kuwa open minded.
Exactly.
Na kushika tu shughuli yako. Sasa mimi nimeenda hapo maybe kwa bili yangu. Sijana kwa bili yangu.
Exactly.
You get?
So Perris, what are your thoughts community wise? How do we embrace, because these are our brothers and sisters, these are our sons and daughters, how do we make the community embrace? Kuna watu bado wako still closed minded about disability. Mtu anaona msi yako deaf anashindwa how do I even talk to this? Sasa atashinda memwandikia sijui text nini exactly. How do we open the minds of our people in this society?
What I will say is society kuna vile imetu confine, tangu kitambo actually uko unaona watu wengi wako na disability. Reason being wamefichwa.
Exactly.
Wamefungiwa kwa hao, uweze waona hata nje, hutawaona kwa barabara, like the families are embarrassed to bring them out, so hatukuwaiona. And so tuliishi kwa society ni kama these people do not exist, but in reality they do. Ni kufichwa tu, wamefichwa. So right now people with disability are highly empowered. They are empowered and they are taking their own space and owning it, and actually they are coming back to their voice and advocating for themselves. Na wanatoka huku nje tu waone ni kweli wana exist, and they can also chip in and build communities that they are around in, So me what I can say is ni sisi kama communities ama kama society kwanza tukue na a mindset shift. Unajua? Because a problem ni sisi tu tulijikreatia anyway. Nasemanga before hata tutoke kwa community yetu hapo. Community ni penye uko surrounded. Tuanze kukuja huku kwa stories za policies. Ati tutengeneza inclusive policies na nini. Even before we get there. Can you change where you are as a person? Can you change your neighborhood? Can you change your community, your church, mahali penye uko? Can you make that change? Before tuseme ati tunakuja hapa kwanza kufight for policies, sijui tunataka kubadilisha nini. Badilisha kwanza mahali uko. And the first step you can do is acceptance. Juu everything begins with accepting. Kubali huyu ni Maina ako na disability. Hivyo ndo Mungu aliona amuumbe, si ni kweli? Huyu pia ni Smith. Na despite yeye kuwa na disability, ako na a lot of other things that anaweza kufanya. And I'm glad because our minds works, hata sijui how I can explain it. Because unapatanga your brain, wakati brain yako imeread kuna kitu moja like umeshindwa kufanya. For example, ukatwe mguu moja, umebaki na moja. Brain yako tu ita rewire like, sina mguu moja, niko na moja, and I'll learn, na nitaweza kutumia hii moja yenye niko nayo. Like, our brains ziko tu hivyo, ziko wired hivyo. So, ukipata msako na disability, yes, brain yake najua niko na disability ya hii. Maybe siwezi tembea, maybe siwezi ona. But brain yake inajirewire, ina focus na something else. That is why you find these people are so perfect in what they choose to do. For example, can you drink? Umse anachora kuliko hata mse tu mwenye ana disability. Kama ni music, kitu ata choose kufanya. Ana excel kabisa. Yani ako na skills ile hata we mwenyewe uwezi kata ukiona. So that is how our brains are. Na sisi tunafaa tujue disability haimaanishi mtu hawezi, anaweza. So as a society tutoe hiyo story ya stigma, tuwa embrace first of all, tuwapende, alafu tukubali wako. And acceptance begins with families. Because nyinyi kama familia, mi like a caregiver as a mom, nimepata mtoto ako na disability, ako na cerebral palsy, nimemficha, sijakubali ako na hiyo condition, and it's lifelong, you know. Sasa nisipokubali, nitawezaje kufunza watu wenye wako hapo around, our neighbors, the extended family, how to treat him, you know, how to relate with him? Nitawezaje na mimi mwenyewe sijakubali? So it's about acceptance as a family, as parents, as caregivers, tukubali. Uko na mtoto, uko unataka hivyo, hakuna mtu anatakanga, si ni kweli? But imekuja, imekupata, utadu. Life must go on. Haitasimama juu ya hiyo. It must go on. So ukubali, udeal na issues zako kwanza, because tunapatanga story ya stigma hata inaanzianga kwenyu from your parents. I remember there was a day you told us that your mom played a very big role, kuku empower with positive affirmations, anakupush. Unajua, sasa imagine hangefanya hivyo.
Yeah, actually hata unakutanga nilikuwa na struggle na hiyo self love ya kujipenda. Then madhe anakupush, anakuambia yo ni uende huko nje, you know, you have to live like others. Hii kenye unaona ikiwa big deal, it's so small. So venye tu Perris anasema, it comes from family first. It's through family that you are able to nurture, then it comes out to the world, then the world embraces it and reciprocates it.
Actually that is so. Alafu unakuta sasa as a family uko na your own biases. Si tumegrow tu kwa hii society moja, iko na biases zake. So hata wewe mwenyewe uko na your own biases. Kama vile Maina anatuambia wheelchair isiendanishe na tei. Uko na wheelchair, unafanya nini club wewe? Ungekuwa home, unajua, ama ungekuwa church, unaona? That is a bias. Unajievaluate wewe kama caregiver ama mama ama a parent. What are your biases? Deal with them first. Tunajua all battles are fought in the mind. Conquer that, and then everything else itajialign vizuri. So you first deal with your own biases. Ndo zisi kuflad zimwagikie mtu wewe mwenye unalea, unajua. Asigrow na yo low self esteem, kujidharau, kuna yeye hafai, unaona. So wewe ukishadil na wewe mwenyewe, and then now you can be able to nurture this life. Utamnurture vizuri sana. Atakuwa very confident. I love how my friend here is. Like yeye anakwanga tu yeye nyinyi shauri yenu mdeal na issues zenyu huko. Mimi niko sawa na akubalingi mtu am confined. Akubalingi yeye ataishi life yake vile anaona it's fit, and that is how we should be. So tuachane to deal na biases zetu wenyewe as a family, then inaenda hivyo, inafikia hadi our government, because these people are in the same society. Hatuwezi sema ati because wameenda to those elective positions sijua wamefanya nini, au ndo wana to create policies and stuff. Wamegrow kwa hii same society. So tuanze hapa chini, twende tukipanda. Huwezi kata mti from above, utakata from chini ndo uwe na mizizi. So change should begin kwa grassroots kabisa, na hapo inaanza kwa family.
Yani umesema bottom up.
Yes, you're kind of hill bottom. For sure.
Okay. So I let me ask. Okay, firstly, for those people who don't know, ule kijana tumesema anaendanga kunywa keg, ni Alan mwenye kwa hii kamera. So it's not a bias. Alan keg ni poa. Now media. Of course, tumeona media imekuwa co-opted since way before, during recent times, you know. But are they putting emphasis on, you know, shedding lights about kitu Perris amesema, highlighting these particular issues? Wachana ile kusema ati now sasa tunaonesha this is how mnafaa kutreat watu, but showing the positive stories, you know, showing the positive side. This is what Maina does. Anaishi maisha poa. Maina anachangia chama, anachangia mzinga. Is the mainstream media doing enough to actually highlight these particular stories?
I'd say yes and no. Yes, na design ya sahii tuseme tuko na activity as an organization hizi naona pia kwa news wanaenda wana highlight wana showcase that news so it's like amplifying the achievements that people with disabilities are doing or organizations are doing in the name of supporting the disability community. No, because let's say 90% of the media yenye ama the news yenye kwa media ni msee amekam akachukua story yangu then ananishow the main point is to share my story. So our biggest question inakuanga then after sharing the story what happens. So media itakuja waniambia hey, you have a nice story, we need to share it out to everyone waone nini. So it doesn't give solutions, all it does ni labda change mindset ya watu but haikuangi ati an achievement sana because naweza choose kufanya my own story and share with the little community that I have. Media having in this case mainstream media having so big so a bigger community, a big audience, the best thing they should be doing is to highlight the achievements. Let's say niva venye nasema I've done an activity through the organization, media inakam ina showcase then your story come Maina share your story and all that. I think it's kind of outdated.
I totally agree with you, but it's actually because say tuko kwa 20 what century?
21st?
Tuko 21st century.
Yeah, in the 21st century.
Tumefundishwa hizi vitu ever since we were kids. You know, this is how we embrace these people, people living with disability, integrate them into our community. These are not people who are they are abled differently. You know, they know what they are doing. So basically tumekuwa na hiyo knowledge. So vile Maina nasema, it's time for me, I think it's time that we move now from we've gained that particular knowledge. Now it's about policies, action, making sure that hizo policies si ati zinaongelewa tu, they're being rubber stamped.
Hiyo ndo point unakuta, sorry for cutting you short.
No, it's okay.
Hiyo ndo point unakuta walemavu wenyewe ndo wanakuwa proactive. Mtu tu mwenyewe ana build anina confidence ya mi nitajitoa tu, whatever I need to do nitafanya. And thanks to the compliments pia. So pia siku hizi tuseme digital media inatusaidia sana because I control my content. So I know what to post and what not. So I'll share more of the tuseme huko hapo weni audience wangu unaona nimefanya kitu fulani na imekubamba, you'll tend to appreciate more and want to get to know more about say as compared to nimepeana my sad story ukasema oh sorry and all that. I get. So pia tuka social media sahii imekuja ikachangia venye niko na simu, mlemavu mwingine ako na simu, so naweza reach a person internationally na my content and all that. So pia social media may play a very big role. Yes, to amplify our stories.
True.
Yes.
That is why the essence of now citizen journalism.
Smith,
Smith, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts in regards to media. So media first to help to amplify our stories, to help to amplify the challenges, the opportunities around the disability community. But now you find that they are always rigid. Venye tu maisha masema, they are rigid on either ni success story, either ni challenge, you know, they are not open, they are not all round. And one thing I would appreciate about media in this day and age is the way they have started cooperating and putting us to task, so we can also create our own narratives in our own way. The way we know another person can understand it, who is in the disability space. Take for example Brayo. Unajua Brayo Wills. So Brayo right now he's at BBC. It's from that point he can be able now to talk out, can be able to tunaweza sema anaweza sasa hapo mahali yako inamfanya anaweza create a narrative that the co-workers and also the whole audience in the media space narrative yake inaifanya inakuwa suitable because he understand he's lived it and he knows how to maneuver through it. And so it's from that point that you get now the media comes in and amplifies that, and people get to consume it and engage with the whole narrative. And yeah, so that's all about the media. Yeah.
True. I think hata sisi we should, when having this particular conversation, at least now that we, of course, we will have to broadcast them, should at least hata sisi tungekuwa tumeweka mtu wa sign language hapa
Yeah.
so naona that is our fault
Yeah.
But
on our end
subtitles
as well.
first,
But then it's a learning process.
Yeah.
Perris, you know, you're a caregiver. You're at the forefront of doing all these particular things. I mean, what are the challenges that you overcome, you know, while taking care of these people and trying to maintain now your balance as an individual? Yeah. How do you self-care for yourself as a caregiver? Yeah. How do you do that? How do you overcome those challenges?
Yeah. First of all, I will say challenges ziko. That is the truth. And first of all, tunaweza sema ni, for example, like accessibility, accessing services, for example, like healthcare services. Maybe unataka kupeleka mtu therapy, massage therapy, you know. Utapata, this is just an example. We have a provincial general hospital here. They offer all those services, right? But utapata, Nakuru County is huge. Kuna mtu mwenye ako mashambani. By the time anafika hapa PGH, atakuwa ametumia a lot of transport and a lot of time. And remember, maybe huyu mtoto amekuwa mkubwa, atachoka kumbeba. Public transport nayo, it's not favorable kutumia na wheelchair. Kuna all these challenges ndo yeye kwenda kufikia ile service. And yet, mahali yako, ama kwa ka village kenye ako, there's a healthcare. Zinaitangwa nini? To hospitali tudogo ya kuna dispensary.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo dispensary hawana hizi services zote. Hawezi enda hapo uaccess therapy. For example, hata ukienda hapo kama wewe ni caregiver, you feel overwhelmed, you also want psychosocial support, you want hizo counseling, unapata hakuna those services hapo. But bei yake iko very friendly, utaenda upate hata unalipa some very small amounts of money, but hizi services haziko, and yet hiyo ndio facility iko karibu na wewe, so you end up using a lot of money kufika huku and a lot of time, and you find most of them do not even come. A lot of them gave up on therapy long time ago, simply because it's time consuming, inatumia pesa mingi, and hata ukikuja hapo EPGH, watu wako swamped, wamejaa, because wametoka from all over Nakuru County, wengine hata even beyond Nakuru County. So these people, professionals, are overwhelmed. Anakufanya mbio we ukienda, so it's not even impactful. Hata as much as tunasemaga hiyo progress yake it's slow, hata utaona progress because it's not that impactful, unajua. So those are the major challenges zenye unapata kama caregiver. Anaweza kupitia. Another thing, it's the cost of living sahi in our country. Tunajua it's very costly. Life imekuwa very costly. Huu ni full time caregiver, anakaa kwa nyumba, haendi kazi. Unapata mwingine aliwachwa na mzee, so ni single mom, ni full time caregiver. Unaenda unaajiriwa kazi, mtoto anakuwa mgonjwa, each and every time umelazwa hospitali, mwenye kazi anakuambia si hivi tutafanya kazi, you know. Anakufuta and you're back at home with nothing. And yet you have bills, the normal bills za kulipa. You have house rent, you have food, you have what. Hizi zinakuja bills za hospitali, you are admitted. These people, they are not covered na SHA yenye walileta mpya. I think mimi, in my opinion, nikiweza ulizwa, wanafaa kuwa fully covered. Like, mtoto ni mtu analazwa hata mara 2 kwa mwezi. Utakwanga ukilipa bills kila wakati. Government should find a way to include them na wakwe fully covered. At so long as you have that card na hauko able kulipa, utaenda hospitali na utapata the services, unajua. Juu si kitu itaisha kesho, maisha yake yote ataishi hivyo. And actually unapata kuna a lot of fatalities because mtoto amegonjeka, uko mbali, umeshindwa ku access, huna pesa, ana end up kutenda hospitali. Unapata kuna wengi ambao wanapass back at home, you know. So these are the major challenges naweza sema. Na madawa, oh my god, they are so expensive. These children consume a lot of medications, zinaitwa anticonvulsants. They convulse, kind of epileptic, hizo seizures. So they have to use a lot of medications. Hizo nazo bei nayo ndio hiyo. So people, they are not able to afford. Akikabila dawa, amekosa therapy, chakula unampea yenye unaweza afford, umempea ugali cabbage, umempea ugali skuma. That's not a balanced diet. Na diet for them is very, very important. Unajua, so nini ya mtu inaendelea kideteriorate kila wakati, unaona. So the condition is really, really alarming out here, especially kwa communities. And hizo ndio challenges zenye unapata caregivers wanaface huku nje. But they keep on pushing and they keep on hoping. Nini ingine atafanya? Hajui mahali anaweza enda kuseek out for help. Hajui hata knock mlango gani asaidike. Yetu tunasikia there are a lot of policies kama yenye ilipitishwa juzi ya 2025. I hear there are something they are going to do about caregivers. But caregivers huku kwa grassroots, do they know? Do you know we have a lot of caregivers wenye watu hawajaipeleka watoto assessment? Yeah. Kuna wenye hata kitambo ilikuwa story ya disability card. Nasikia say it's digital.
Certificate.
Yes. Hata kitambo hawana hizo, hawajaienda, hawajui maana ya kuwa na hiyo kitu ni nini, hawajui the benefits. You know, there are a lot of things to be done hapa nje. And so unapata hizi challenges zote umepitia when caregiver inakuwe down. Remember, you're also human. You're also human. Kuna hiyo fatigue, utachoka. Kuna hiyo mental breakdown, emotional breakdown, kwa sababu huyu ni mtu mwenye unafaa umchunge maisha yake yote. Utampelekea nani? Wewe ndio mama. Yeah. Ikikushinda wewe utapelekea nani? Hakuna. So it is you to figure out. Unajua?
Yeah, true.
So unapata hakuna hiyo mental support, hakuna hiyo psychosocial support. Tuangalie kwanza kwa society, kuna hiyo stigma, kuna discrimination, kuna isolation. So wewe mwenyewe unajipata umejiisolate peke yako, so uko kwa nyumba utokangi. Hata majirani si marafiki, hawezi kuja kukuangalia. So hiyo inakuingiza polepole kwa depression, unaona? So tumeingia sector ya mental health. Unapata you are not stable mentally. And if you are not well, then how are you going to take care of this other person? Unajua, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Yeah. So actually, from this experience, now this is how I came up with a program in Ito Shamir Initiative in our organization. It is basically to empower caregivers kuwafundisha kuhusu mental health. Wajue mental health ni nini, mental health conditions zinakujanga aje, what are the signs and symptoms, utaona nini ndo ujue no, it's time to seek for help. Now I need to go for counseling, I need to do this. You know, awezi take care of someone na we mwenyewe uko chini, hauko sawa. Utapata mwingine ako na hizo suicidal ideations na uko na mtoto hapa anakuangalia. Yeah. It's really tough. So basically Shamiri tuna empower hivyo caregivers wajue kuhusu mental health and also the rights of their children. Wajue they have rights. As much as huyu mtoto ako non-verbal, as much as huyu mtoto ako physically disabled, atembei afanye nini, unamweka tu hapo analala. Ako na rights. Ako na rights to interact socially. Si tumfungie kwa nyumba mwache. Anafaa kutoka huko nje. Autejua, aone watu. And actually that plays a very huge role for them to thrive. Unaonanga a difference ukimtoa nje umpeleke mahali kuna watu, huyo mtoto ana change. Actually kama hata alikuwa very rigid, umpeleke mahali ana interact na watoto wengine, hata kama ni watoto wako sawa, unapata anaanza kubadilika, anaanza kuachieve to certain milestones, anaanza kurecognize spaces, environments, you know, that is an achievement. Yeah, so I can say mambo ya self-care, you do the small things that makes you feel good as a person. Yes, uko overwhelmed, umekuwa very emotional, maybe umefanyia mtu hiki kila kitu amelala. Now you have your own space. Toka hata hapo nje, tembea hata 15 minutes walk. Peke yako tu, rudi kwa nyumba. Utafeel relief because umepata fresh air. Maybe utokagi kwa hao, hata mtoto mtuagi nje majirani wasimuone. So umetoka umepata hiyo fresh air, umebreathe, umeona jua, unajua, umeona watu, umesikia kelele. Imekuput off kenye ulikuwa unafikiria. Another thing, eka music. Just vibe peke yako. Unapenda music gani? We dance hapo tu peke yako. Unajua, ukiosha vyombo unaimba hapo tu umeka music. Vitu kama hizo. Another thing you can do is maybe seek for psychosocial support groups za fellow caregivers. Jua wako located wapi, wanakutananga lini. Kuna zenye ni za online, maybe kuna zile za WhatsApp group. how can you access these platforms? Usikue peke yako. Unajua ukipatana na mtu mnashare the same problem, mtaenda huko hata mwanze kucheka because nyinyi wote mko in the same boat na mna encourage each other. So those are just the smallest things someone can do, and actually maybe find organizations that support. Kuna organizations za mental health mingi sana. They can facilitate kama niyo counseling, unajua. They can facilitate maybe, unajua watu wengine wanakanga wamepata iyo stress imekuwa too much, sasa paka ime lead to a condition, but amekuwa na depression, una need medication, una need a professional, una need kuwa na psychiatrist, una yodo. Kuna hizo organizations zenye they can facilitate that. So you also need to be out here and know ni gani hizo, where can you knock and get help.
Yeah, it's true actually. That is why sometimes we advocate for even people having some of these particular exchange programs, not just be confined in one area ati Nakuru peke yake ama ati watu wa Nairobi wako kivyao, and it's good to share ideas and exchange some of these initiatives so that people learn, this is what we can do better and this is what others can do better. So finally, Smith, Maina, what do you think can actually be done? What changes would we like to see probably in the society in regards to handling people living with disability, as well as motivating being there for the caregivers?
Well, I'll still emphasize on the same thing I mentioned before, is to consult. If you really want to be inclusive, it's best to seek information from people who do the inclusivity work. Because in most cases, and this is speaking from experience, in most cases unakutanga mtu amesema, let me share this. There's a program I was to participate in this year. So the program ilikuwa inclusive, I will say maybe halfway. So kulikuwa na opportunity ya ilikuwa to travel. So was to travel with a caregiver and all that. So it happened that my caregiver didn't get a visa. So if I was asked, if they had the information what inclusivity really is, wangekuwa na maybe a caregiver from their end. So ingekuwa 100% inclusive. Maybe they consulted internally, they made these decisions internally, but wange consult an expert in disability mainstreaming, angeambia 100% inclusivity means this and this and this. Yeah. So that's the same thing. Juu naendanga place nakuta kuna activity imefanywa, but unakuta tu mtu alileta tu watu venye ulikuwa nasema, leta tu mtu for the sake of being there. So hakutaka kujua from experts what inclusion really means. And inclusivity is very, very deliberate and very intentional. So it's just a matter of wanting to know. Yeah. Yes. True. And practicing what through collaborations and all that. Yes. Right. And again, we are thanking you for this activity. Another thing pia what tunafanya as the disability community ni create disability awareness. So this is one of the major things that happens continues to happen, and it creates disability awareness globally. Yeah. So whoever listens to this atakuwa na some information to do with disability support, caregiving, media and all that in terms of disability peer visibility and all that.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. This is just the beginning. At least these are conversations that we'll keep on having. We propel them further because that is why we have these particular platforms. Yeah, Smith?
Yeah, so my take is we need to change perceptions. And perceptions and prejudice hizi zote need to be changed. Yeah, we need to change the way we think. It's just as Maina said, it's through open-mindedness that you are able to accommodate, you are able to suit every other person in this boat. Yeah, so let me give an example. So I think sometime back 2-3 years ago, nimeandikwa pahali and I'm in this construction site and we are working. Then mwenye project anakuja, then anaanza kunisaidia job. The first question he asked hebu nikuulize Smith, ulikuwa unakaa aje after ulizaliwa, after ukakuwa mlemavu? What were the perceptions? How did your parents treat you? You know, it's from that wanting to know that really put me like, okay, so unataka kuunderstand. Una get, anakuwa nagged na akona kanag ka kutaka kujua what really went. So it's from that point that you give him or you give her your story, then perception changes. Yeah, unamwambia kulikuwa hivi na hivi na hivi, mzazi wangu alifanya hivi na hivi, then they change. Maybe the way he used to view you, the way they used to view you, hawata kuview hivyo tena. It's all about perception. Just as Maish is saying, it's so deliberate, and we have to amplify it out here. We need to change this perception in storytelling, in amplifying it in the media, in engaging the disability community in every aspect of life. May it be government, may it be Juakali, may it be anywhere. Unaget? It's from that point people will start appreciating and change perspectives. And this whole prejudice thing, stigmatization. Unajua, unakutanga mtu hajawahi interact na mlemavu, but that one time or those 2 times they'll interact, anaanza kuwa msofty, anaanza kuwa welcoming. Then it's from that point sasa anaanza hata kuunderstand. Sasa unakuta hata sasa yeye ndo ule defender, like, wewe mbona unaguza best yangu? Na ile kuna ile hapo mbele hakuwa so welcoming or hakuwa so much into this space of disability, but because ali interact na wewe na akaget to be around, ana change perspective, and also his or her whole well-being inabadilika. And that's how it can really help.
Perris, one last.
What I would say is, echoing what Maina and Smith said, we need to own our stories. We really do. For example, mi nikinyamaza ningoje mtu apeane story yangu ya kulea other and actually losing him, hata peana the right information. I'm the only person who knows. I'm the author of my story. So you need to own it and know how to tell it best. You don't just tell it. Know how to tell it best. Because I've come to realize that when we are telling our stories out here to create awareness and change perceptions, as Smith is saying, tunawachia katikati, hatumalizi. Unawacha watu kwa ile point ya uishi. You went through that way, akipole, sympathy. But sympathy alone cannot bring change. Sympathy alone is not enough to do anything, actually. So we need to go a mile further and actually, from sympathy, let's call them to action. For example, tunataka wa change perceptions zao. Sini kweli, tunataka wabadilishe vile wanaona disability. So as you are telling your story, make sure you put in something that shows that. Eka struggle yako, ulizaliwa na disability, yes. This and this is what you faced. You faced stigma, yes. Uka end up to isolation. Uka end up kukua na issues na your mental health. What do you want to change? What do you want us as a community to do, ama as your listeners? You know, a call to action to take them further along in your journey. Usiwache tu kwa ile point ya uishi, akituna kuhurumia, pole sana, you went through that. We want change. And actually stories zimekuwa zikibaki hapo for so long. And that is not how we are supposed to do it. We need to switch up things a little bit. And another thing I'll say is, the change I would like to see in our society or communities is actually disability being embraced. However it looks like, however it is, embrace it. And I see a future where disability is not pitied. It's not feared. Because utapata huku nje, people fear disability. Utake kukaa karibu na mtu sijui anakaa hivi, because you don't know how to handle them, you know. We need to overcome that fear. And how do you do it? Interacting with them. Muongeleshe. Hata kama aujui kuongea na science, na ni mtu anaongea na science, we find a way. Hata kama hujui, just find a way. Let them see you are putting in the effort. Unajua, tusikwe na hiyo pity, tuache kuwa na hiyo fear. Kwani unaogopa disability? We all candidates here our disability. Utajua nini itafanyika pale kwa barabara ukitoka. You don't know. We are young here. Tunajenga mafamilia. Ujue kesho utazaa mtoto akwaje. You never know what will happen to those in those labor wards. You know, hakuna mtu anajua future. So we need to change that. Na unapatanga watu wengi hubadilika situation ikishawapata. Sasa ndo unaanza kumbe inakwanga hivi. Kumbe nilikuwa nafanya vibaya. So it's time we switch up things and really change. Na sisi wenye story tujue tunapeanaje stories zetu for real impact out here. Tusiwache watu kwa akiwoye pole. Ulikuwa na mtoto wako na pole. Alikufa pole. Tuli grieve. Na sahi we are moving on and we don't want other people to go through what we went through. So we are here to bring forth change. And how do we do it? Tutokeuke kwa wishe, tukuje kwa action sasa.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, thank you guys so much, man. It's an eye opener, and I hope probably one or two people wanaweza learn from this.
Yeah.
Always, as we always say, it's each one teach one. So ule mwenye akona masikio asikie. Whoever wants to pick something and learn, move on with it, the better for us. So we impact our societies one mind, one person at a time.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you guys for coming through. It's been an eye-opening. Unfortunately, that is the time we have for today. But Perris, thank you so much for the amazing insights.
Thank you for
And
having
we
me.
look forward to having you over and over again. Maish, as always, at least after this.
Actually, I had a question before we wrap up the You, assuming you're the representative of the community that is non-disabled, what do you think could be the change?
Are you putting me on the spotlight?
Not really, because I'm putting it into perspective. We are the disability community.
Yeah.
Now you have given the solutions.
Yeah.
Now you being in the other community that does not have disability. Well, what do you think the change could be?
I mean, one thing I'll want to drum is that I know, whichever way we look at each other, is that I know we were all created and born in the image of God.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I'll want to put into people's mind. Number two, I'll start these particular teachings at a very early age. From the watoi wangu wakiwa hapa chini, it's tell them, you know what, don't look at a person, look at their mind and heart. Do not look at their physical attributes. Teach them while they are young. From there, then now we can nurture a society that knows, you know what, we are all equal in the eyes of God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Asante kwa kuniweka kwa. So thank you also, Maina. Thank you, Smith.
No
It's always a
problem.
pleasure for having you. And then the guys behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Kijana wa Keg, Alan.
Wow. Kegman.
Tuti, of course. Then Roba, Maraga, Kim, and of course Job, and the entire the Utu Podcast and the Ubuntu Creative Space team. Shukran sana for having us. And then I think we'll see you guys next time, and then we look forward to having amazing conversations.
And please, guys, like, share, subscribe. Please, tupatane pale kwa socials. As always.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very
as
much,
well.
guys.